welcome to my channel. Today I will be reviewing an African violet called Rob's Gundaroo. It was hybridized by Ralph Robinson and registered with the African Violet Society of America in 2003 under the registration number 9294. This is my first trailer variety. I received 3 leaves from a fellow club member at Thousand Oaks African Violet Society in April of this year. So it's about 7 to 8 months ago. When I saw the plant that she brought over to our club meeting, I was really taken by the color of the blooms, and I just had to have this one in my collection. The color is very pretty and it does not translate truly, I believe, on video. It's more of a lavender blue, and I believe on the video it just looks like plain blue color. It's a very pretty lavender blue, if I had to describe it. So I planted the leaves, and here is the progress of the leaf propagation from April through July. I planted the leaves in a 50-50 mix of perlite and peat moss, like I usually do for propagation of African violet leaves, and I was really surprised by the progress this variety made. One leaf even produced a bloom stalk, as you saw on the picture, and it started blooming at propagation, and I was very surprised by it. So it seems like it's a very easy to propagate variety. This is a semi-miniature trailer, as I mentioned. Trailing African violets grow with multiple crowns that trail over the sides of the pot. So when the leaves produce babies, rather than me waiting for one crown to then produce multiple crowns, I decided to speed up the process, and so that I could have this cute bouquet as soon as possible. And I planted 3 small plantlets into a single pot. And this is the pot that I use. This is just a regular yogurt container, 8-ounce yogurt container. And I made some holes on the bottom with a soldering iron. And I put it on a wick. So it grows on a wick just like all of my other African violet varieties. So at this point, each of the individual rosettes, the 3 rosettes that I had planted, they kind of mixed in together and they started producing side little rosettes, each of them. But each of them is about 5 inches in diameter across each of the rosettes. So the semi-miniature African violets are those that typically grow from 6 to 8 inches at maturity in diameter. So I believe that each of the rosettes might still grow a little bit. However, at this point I will start to learn how to trim or how to care for trailers, because I believe that the more it starts growing, the more difficult for this plant will be to bloom, because the blooms need light to bloom. And if the more leaves grow, the bushier it will become, and the density of the plant will increase. Here you can see under the blooms how many new leaves are coming out. So I need to learn how to care for the trailer violets ASAP. Rob's Gundaroo has medium green plain leaves, and the leaves are not really large. Each leaf is about 1.5 inches long without a stem. The flowers of this variety are described as semi-double medium blue pansies, and the color is really lavender blue, if I had to describe it, as I mentioned. The fully opened blooms reach about 3/4 to an inch in diameter, and here they are in comparison to a dime coin. And it's a prolific bloomer. For the first bloom, it has produced so many flowers, and they're very pretty. And some of them almost have like lighter spots on them, so it's almost like light lavender fantasy on the darker, yeah, like this one for example, on the overall darker background. I like this variety a lot, and I will definitely keep it in my collection. Each stem carries multiple flower buds. I did not even try counting them because there's so many of them on each of the main stems. This variety is growing under a combination of LED artificial light and natural light on the west-facing window, with the temperatures in the range of 65 to 79 Fahrenheit and the humidity around 50%. The LED light bulbs that I have in that light stand are two different temperature color bulbs. One is 3000 K or warm bulb, and another one is 6500 K or cool light bulb. I use a fan, a standing fan that stands next to that plant stand, and it works all the time because I've noticed that in this environment the plants are prone to powdery mildew if I don't run the fan. So keeping the air moving helps a lot. And sometimes I have to use fungicide, and I will talk about it in my future videos. I grow it on a wick here, and like all of my other plants, with the diluted dosage of fertilizer. And at this point I'm using this variety, this kind of a fertilizer that I learned about in my African Violet Nerds group on Facebook. And the ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium is 7, 9 and 5. So it's not equal ratio, but it's very close to equal ratio of main three elements. And I use 1/4 teaspoon per gallon of water. So it's constant fertilization, but with very, very weak dosage. I also wanted to mention a little experiment that I did using this particular African violet variety, Rob's Gundaroo. I tried making my own bubble garden using the plantlets that I had produced by propagating those 3 leaves from which I grew these 3 rosettes. And I will make a separate video about it, but this is my Rob's Gundaroo inside of the bubble. And you can compare the plant outside of the bubble and the plant inside of the bubble. It just started blooming. However, the leaves are larger in size. So I hope it just blooms as nicely as the one without the bubble. And I've been growing them in the same conditions. They are standing under exact same light on the exact same distance from the light, except this one is weak watered and this one is top watered. But I will make a separate video just about this experiment, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, here it is again, Rob's Gundaroo by Ralph Robinson. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you again on the next episode of my African Violet reviews.